Episode of Cannabis Legacy Podcast right here on Respect My Region. You know it is the highest host, Adam Mill, chilling out. And of course, we got a legend in the building. And this is a first for our podcast because usually, we're on the technology side, but we got the in studio smoke sesh with the one and only Squints, Chauncey, aka Squints. You already know, foreign genetics, big pre-rolls, amazing strains, and of course, your favorite bud tender, right? I know you used to bud tend, right?
I did. Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
how was that?
Everything I have today is from bud tending, honestly, to be honest, that was where it started, really working the counter for Manny at Green Dragon.
That in the Valley?
Yeah, in the Valley. Yeah, in North Hollywood. When we moved, he had just moved from Van Nuys to there, and I came on. I had already been growing and doing other things, but I came and started there behind the counter. And then ended up managing the shop and, separating.
Okay. So I'm going to go back a little bit, all right? Because you've been saying I was growing, I was smoking, da-da-da. Let's go back because let's just start from the beginning. We're all familiar, of course. If you're not familiar, you should check it out. The movie Sandlot. You were in Sandlot as Squints. You're the one that kissed Wendy Peppercorn, and you're the one that, was everyone liked. And here you are in a big movie. Did you guys know it was going to be what it was?
No, you never know when you're doing those things. You know what I mean? It's like
a group of kids, and you're like,
yeah, we were just having fun. It felt cool while we were doing it, and then obviously after you see it, it's like, oh, this is dope, But you don't know what the public is going to take and then hold dear, So it was it's still a shock to see that we're still here talking about it. That there's still merch being made 30 years later.
Still relevant.
It's a trip, bro.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So, was acting something you were going to do? Because you got into cannabis and now you have like amazing strains. I'm smoking this 41. I got some of this Valley Girl. We'll talk about in a little bit. What happened from acting to cannabis? Like, how did that transition happen?
I smoked weed one time.
I got high.
I fell in love with weed when I was young, in our high school years, and being the type of person I am, I just wanted to learn everything about it and read all the books and try to grow. And I had a medical recommendation early. One of my homeboys, Dietrich, had put me on to Dr. Eidelman in Santa Monica at the time.
The prescription.
Yeah. So, he was that was still when this is 2001. So it's nobody even somebody could tell you about it, but you don't fucking believe it.
Right.
There was no shops in LA.
It's 20 years ago.
The landscape was just Inglewood Wellness. Paul, the dudes that own Inglewood Wellness on Manchester, that was the only real store in all of Los Angeles. Then there was Yellow House, and there was a dude that ran a spot out of his house, and he was a big dude, and we called him Jabba the Hutt because he used to just sit on a couch and fucking sell weed. But that shit was super sketchy. But he was a Prop 215 caregiver,
right?
So he had the model and shit.
So this is back when you had to go see a doctor, and they would write you a recommendation, and there were certain people that you could get your weed from.
Yeah, and this was in LA. Even if you had a recommendation, nobody would fucking believe you that you actually had a recommendation.
Yeah,
I remember walking out onto Manchester Boulevard out of Inglewood Wellness with fucking clones in a bag and some hash and some weed, and walking out on a Manchester and being oh fuck, this is crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now people just walk out smoking blunts and shit.
Yes, yeah. Things have changed for sure.
Yeah. So 2001, because I remember I got my rec, and there was a doctor right next to the weed shop on Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah,
across from the Hustler store.
I know the dude that owns that shop, and he had the doctor too. That was
it was right there. It was a whole thing. You'd walk in.
I won't put him on blast right now, but
you'd walk in to the doctor. You'd be like, da da da. He's like, all right, cool, and you pay $100 for this piece of paper, and then you'd go to the dispensary, and then what they would do back in the day is they would take your paperwork and then call the phone number on there and verify it was real.
Yep.
And so that's what you would be doing.
Yeah. So Eidelman was one of the first guys in LA that really was doing scripts, and I remember sitting in the office still with a room full of people and kind of bugging out at the whole situation, But yeah, so I was into it then, and then I started, me and my boy built a room together, and then I built a room in this house I had in Palmdale in the garage, and
build a room. You started growing.
Started cultivating,
right?
Yeah.
And then what'd you do? A seed, or you got clones? I heard you.
I got clones.
Okay.
I was resourceful. You know what I mean? I ended up, the first thing I ran was I think it was Bull Rider, and it was from like a Cottonmouth King Connect. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Old school. I'm
Yeah.
old.
That how you used to, no. Please.
I'm showing
People
my
love
age.
KMK. Dog, chill.
Nah, but they're great, and they put on for weed like really early, bro.
Yeah.
Just like Cypress and.
Their name's Cottonmouth King.
Yeah, bro. They were pushing it. They were pushing the envelope. Cool cats.
So you had the connect to get some clothes.
So they had a dude that had a hydro store in like San Pedro. And I had met through them somehow. And he hooked me up with all the gear and equipment. I bought it all from him. And then I had a construction team come and build out this garage. And like this is still like window AC units and shit in these old rooms. It was like a 4-light setup with the flood and drain system.
This is back before like the internet and all these like videos and YouTube's how-tos.
Yeah,
and
you
forums.
were in the dark. And like I was lucky to have like
someone
connect
knew,
of motherfuckers that were really had good weed at the time. You know what I'm saying? So
it was still kind of like taboo and hush hush. You don't want to get caught. You don't want people to know.
That shit stayed taboo for like 10 years after that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it still was weird. We're just coming out of that days. But at this time it was like, you didn't tell nobody. It was bad news.
Right.
Yeah. Because if they came to your house, you were still going to jail. For sure.
Yeah. I mean,
recommendation or not, a recommendation was basically a defense in court.
Yeah.
If something arose,
and if you had a cool lawyer that knew how to word it.
Yeah, and you would have your day in court at this time.
Of course,
for sure, 100%.
They wanted to make examples because the city and the states and they weren't for it as much as now with all the taxation that they provide. They're like, all right, cool, whatever, we'll just let it slide because y'all fuckers are paying 30%. Just in tax.
Yeah, so I dabbled early, and
so what made you want to start growing it? Was it just access?
I mean, I was working a little bit and moving around, and I liked weed, and I was just like, I'm like a curious person. Like I used to fucking like sift Canadian packs and try to like sieve hash out. Like I'm
right. You were into
wild,
it,
bro. I like to do weird shit, trying to create a business model or a line or something,
Right.
So
because acting wasn't the passion.
No, not at all.
When you got
still working. I was still working, but I don't know that it was ever my passion. I was just happened to be like,
it was work.
And like I just kept booking shit. So it's like, what? Okay, cool.
It was a paycheck, and you're taking this Hollywood money and using it for your passion, which is cannabis.
I mean, it's like there's the reason I don't act is because there's not really any money in acting.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's not really like a money game. People don't know that.
Yeah, unless you're like an A-list getting.
And even then, they like make money and like taking points on back ends and producing and doing other shit.
Yeah,
like, unless you're getting rock money, it's not the same. But regardless of the money, that had mostly nothing to do with it. I just was like, this is just what I'm into, And so I continued failing at trying to grow weed because it's really not easy to do.
Listen, I know
this was in the days where you might build out a whole spot and never pull a runoff. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up,
put in all the time.
Mad people fucking and the lack of like actually putting in the time and the knowledge because you think, I'm just gonna build it to grow itself.
Right. So
I think they're still kind of MSOs are kind of figuring that out now because they're still building it off of models, thinking that this is gonna work, and it's not that easy.
And they have no experience. They're just coming in, seeing this as a business.
I mean, it's like buying. I could sell you the instructions.
Yeah,
but it's not.
Here's a recipe, and you know how to cook it.
It's not the ship; it's the captain, right?
Yeah.
We know that. So there's a little more to it. So anyway, I failed at growing weed for quite a while, and then eventually, years later, I started to have some going back to it, had some success growing, and that's when I had been introduced to Manny by a friend of mine, and Green Dragon it was.
So then you're like, all right. I got this. We got some plants. Are you still growing that same strain that you got?
No. Fuck, I wish I had.
What was it?
It's called Bull Rider.
Bull Rider. That's right.
Bull Rider was like a.
It was a classic strain back then.
Yeah,
it was like a blue dream of today, like how the name brand was like a white widow, like a northern light.
Definitely. Bull Rider had a wave. Yeah.
It
was out of like South Bay and San Diego,
and
it was just super bright neon green buds. Kind of looked like what people will think like Jack looked like, but it had a way different profile on it. It was more like it had some train wreck to it, but there was some gas to it. So it's like it was legit, I mean, this is like hash plant and juicy fruit Canadian days. So if you got some Bull Rider or like some Bubba or something crazy back then, You were super stoked, bro.
Bull Riders like that strain you find in the Canna Bible that was printed like 20 years ago.
100% Bull Rider is in there.
Yeah. Probably the first chapter.
That was like one of their like, yeah, exactly. I think it's an alphabetical order.
Yeah, if you know about the Canna Bible, then
I was a Canna Bible kid, dog. Trust me, that was on my coffee table for sure.
That's what I was saying.
That's the type of weed dude I am.
I mean, back like when we're talking, there wasn't a lot of cannabis literature. There wasn't a lot of cannabis merch. You know, it was still super low key. People were going to jail federally. I mean, you were bud tending. Did you ever have moments of DEA coming in, any raids? Because when I was bud tending, that was one of our fears. You know, shops were getting raided.
No, by the time Manny had moved to North Hollywood, I think LA was pretty prominent, and he had been raided before at the old shop, and it was like they knew that this was a legit Prop 215 Pre-ICO shop, and that, you know, we ran a tight ship, and there was no play with that. If anything, we would call them because we needed help in the neighborhood or whatever else. You know what I'm saying? But no, we were good. We had the fucking the stamp of like, let them do their thing.
You guys were good community members.
Yeah.
Followed all the laws.
He did everything and jumped through all the hoops and did everything that he had to do back then. So we were solid. I never had that experience, fortunately. Yeah, so, you know, and then there, obviously, we had a couple hundred lights, and through that, I learned how to manage the flow of.
You said a couple hundred, like, oh yeah, we just had a couple hundred lights. I guess it
was a lot back then too. That was like a big deal. You know what I'm saying? So at a shop.
This is what, like 2000.
This is probably, we're in 2022, so this is probably 2014, 2015.
Okay, yeah,
you know what I mean? So it was still a
peak
lot of
like
lights on a site. Yeah, it was peak 215 days for sure. So I learned how to manage a micro business, basically, in lack of a better words, which is a vertical integrated cannabis business. I learned in real time as we scaled it together, and you know, that's my background is farm to table, every aspect, nursery, we did it all, you know? And so I learned how to do everything.
So you just like, look, I love this plant. I had this, you know, cool movie, but look, this is my passion. Bam, got some clones, started growing, had a couple obstacles, learned, detoured.
It was an epic fail for like.
Did you have any like run-ins with law? Any type of?
I've never had any issues.
Yes, because there was always, like, back then though, there was always that fear, even though it was still medically legal. Like, people were still getting arrested and raided on just random bullshit.
I was definitely blessed to stay out of the eye of the man, so to speak.
Look at that, making it happen. So, boom, here we go. Chauncey, now he's growing, he's working, got the business in. When does Foreign Genetics come in? Because now you have your own.
Foreign was a group. I had ended up leaving Green Dragon. Foreign was around previously. This was before anybody had names. People were just people at this point. Still, the brands
they were just screen names.
There was no like brand. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of branding at all in the business.
There were forum nicknames.
You were either a shop, like, and that was what you went by as that group, or like
a vendor.
There was a couple guys trying to throw around brands, you know.
Right. Yeah, I remember branding.
I think Nameless was probably like the first legit brand in the SoCal market. You know what I mean? That like brought like name branded flower to a menu. You know what I mean? There was names, but like they started pagging early, even in the 215 days before the transition. So
yeah, there was a couple. I remember West Coast Cure was
West Coast Cure was great. That might have been one of the first.
They were one, yeah. I know G Pen was like one of the first like technology branded.
Yeah, I remember when they first started
bringing
mainstream the pens into the shop. Yeah,
the big mainstream. So like,
yeah, I mean, I've seen everything. I've seen distillate come and go.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I remember turning down I remember turning down early concentrate pens and not knowing if it's going to work in the market. And I remember it taking over the market. And then
I remember when people brought it crude.
Yeah.
As oil. Like
yeah. I mean, there was some like early, there was some really speculative BHO, some shit we probably shouldn't have been smoking.
Oh yeah. I've learned that.
But you know, things evolved.
And that's what's great. Cause I mean, there's, you know, pros and cons with everything. It was, we knew that it was inevitable that shit was going to get legal. Is it on the federal side? I mean, who knows when, but at least, you know, across the country, multiple states, it's happening. So, did you did you damn, I got high, bro. What'd you give me to smoke right here?
That was at 41, dog.
I never lose train of thought on these fucking interviews either, bro. I'm all out here trying to transition into a question. You got me lit, dog.
That's what we like to do. That's
what do you like grow like with 400 genetics? What do you guys look for? What is the main like?
I mean, obviously we want to do whatever the market likes, but we also want to create new things for the market to go to.
What do you like though?
I mean, you know, I come from OG, so I like gas. I also fell in love with cookies when the first time I had it, and I ran like Girl Scout for a long time. So, and then into the gelatos and the things that are more popular in the market now, like the LCGs and the Rumps and that whole wave. I like good weed, bro, and I'm always looking for something that is different, but that I'll continue to go back to, which is I can obviously smoke whatever I want forever, you know. People give me so much good weed that I got to give it away because I can't even handle it. And then I have so much of our own stuff to test that, like, you know, it's like that thing. I think I got into this business because I wanted to smoke bomb good weed forever. And now, like, you know, if nothing else, like I've achieved that, you know, by leaps and bounds. I never thought that I'd have as much good weed just handed to me as I do now. It's a pretty cool thing.
It's a blessing.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
Very grateful for
that.
Yeah,
me too.
And speaking of which, I was handed some great weed as well. I saw you at an event recently.
Yeah, I was handing out the OG, the Valley Girl.
This OG right here. It's called Valley Girl, and there's a lot of Valley monuments on there. You know, we got the Reseda sign, of course, the Universal, Cupids, all sorts of things.
Yep. Shouts to Sticker Farmer.
But what I enjoy the most is, you know, Mylar bags are cool. They're cute, but we all know that, you know, sometimes
they smash the bud.
The buds aren't the prettiest.
They come out looking rounded out and all messed up.
You have it in like this little.
So it wasn't me. I mean, look.
Tray.
Zach Woods, you know, Zach created the tray thing.
No tray, no play.
That's right. And he put us on it, to be honest. And then, you know, as we started making our own trays, because we took it to the rec market first, I decided that we should clamshell it and so that it totally protects it. And fortunately enough, we were able to get our packaging guy to be able to do that. And now it's kind of like, it's cool. I remember there was a friend of mine that's ran a big shop in San Diego. And he said, yeah, I mean, when we get Mylar, the first thing we do is shake it to see how long we have to sell it. And I was like, oh no. So, you know, when this stuff is.
Wait. Is that because the drier it is?
Yeah, they can hear it rumbling around and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I was like,
right there.
Well, he's not going to do that anymore. Not with my shit.
Yeah. And so it's never going to move in that.
It's, as a cultivator, seeing something fresh, alive before it's done. And I've been looking at it for, you know, I put the veg in and I ran the room and I've been watching it for the last 8-9 weeks, you know what I mean, to have this finished product. And then after that, it's just like every step, people just ruin it. You know what I mean? Because the plant is beautiful by itself. And all we're trying to do is just capture that aroma that's just dissipating all that terp and everything just going away from it. So
that's what I miss the most.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, if I see, because, you know, in the 215 days, there wasn't like all of these weird, you know, like things to jump through, which is, you know, some of it obviously is good for people that put out bad products so that they have all of these testing and mold samples and all this stuff, you know. But for somebody that was putting out good product, it's like at the shop, we could just pull it straight from the trim. Like the trim room was in the back of the shop and I'd be grabbing bags and putting it in jars already. So people were getting really, really fresh flower, like day of trimmed, you know?
So that's what I really enjoyed with like the 215 days versus now is it was like farmers brought it directly to the shop.
Yeah, it was very
and close. It was fresh and it was, you know, they could tell you, yo, we just cured this, it's ready.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas like today with compliance, as you know, is you have to test it. Once it gets passed, then you got to send it and package it.
It sits a while.
Yeah.
And it's like,
then you got to package
how are they keeping it and do they know how to take care of it properly? And it's all just a timeline of it getting worse, right? Because if you're hunting for like this crazy terp profile and it's just dissipating off of this flower, then, you know, the longer it takes, that's how, you know.
Especially when not stored correctly.
When not stored correctly. So this is an attempt to use the weight of a Mylar bag as opposed to glass packaging, and still keep the product protected from rolling around or rumbling or doing anything,
and not as exposed to the air,
to the air.
Yeah. And it's so good to see the OG. I'm all for the make green weed great again, because we miss green weed. I know
you've been talking about it for a while.
I know you've been saying you like what's crazy. Is there any strains you'd like to see that you miss right now that you haven't seen in a minute?
I miss real cookies.
Real cookies?
Yeah. Like real Girl Scout, bro. Like that's my favorite. I'm trying to find the cut. PCG says they still have it. I need to get it back.
Like the original?
Yeah.
Like the F1 cut. Derb cherry pie?
Or whatever.
Is that what it was?
I don't know.
I remember that was like when
I don't know exactly
that was a
what
forum
the final
controversy.
That's a Jigga question. And you might not get the real answer there either. Who knows?
Yeah.
All I know is that that cookies was something
caused a lot of controversy.
Something special. Yeah. It was fire. I like that terp profile. That was very creamy and different. It kind of like, somewhere in the middle of an OG and a gelato, you know what I mean? It's like that sits there, something different, totally different profile. But yeah, I'm always for new stuff. I smelled some Azul or something that Fuego Farms gave me yesterday or the day before at Transbay, and that had a really different nose on it too.
What was that? Like a sweet, sour, gas, floral?
No, it was more like gassy, pungent. And one of the phenols was super earthy, and then the other one was like just a weird menthol gas. It was dope and different. And that's what's cool is like when you find one that's like that is really interesting, And then you always have to smoke them and see, because I mean, this shit's it's really about like selection, because something can grow great and not translate. It's got to be something that like, oh, we can grow this.
Yeah.
It holds up well. It does decent numbers. It tests high now, which is because everybody cares about how it tests, Just so the general public knows, there's like, just so you know what you guys are chasing, you can hear it directly from me. You guys are chasing like 35% weed, most of it that just smokes like air, and you say that nothing else gets you high, but like all of my favorite weed is like 22 to 25%.
That percentage thing is
and
weird.
You guys are missing, you have no idea, because the genetics are so vast now that like you guys are missing so many cool profiles and things because you're chasing a number, and like there's so many phenos that are better than that one. They get thrown out because these guys can't put it in the market unless it tests high. And now you have something that's inferior going into the bag finally because it hit 30% consistently. You know what I mean? And they knew that they could put it into the market.
It's like going to the liquor store and buying alcohol that has the highest percentage of alcohol.
Yeah.
Who does that?
I mean, alcoholics.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, nobody's going in there like, give me the Everclear. I'll cut it myself.
Well, I mean, that's what it feels like they're doing with this when they shop for cannabis.
But the reason I speak to the camera, I break the fourth wall and say, hey guys, just let me talk to you for a second, because you can hear it straight here, is that like, that shit don't even translate, bro.
Yeah.
35% weed doesn't necessarily get me high.
Mm-hmm.
That shit could smoke like air, and I'll be like, nope, never again, and go on to the next one. And I could smoke some shit that I was like, yo, what the fuck is that? And that shit got me baked, bro. I'm over here spun out, like thinking of, my thoughts start to like travel fast. And that shit was like 19% or something stupid.
And then the whole indica sativa thing, where people are like, I don't even smoke sativas. I only smoke indicas. I'm like, bro, you need to chill.
I get like the thing. It's just a bad way of looking at things, I mean, so people ask me all the time of what I think of as like an indica. And I think of like, I actually think of plant structure, right?
Yes,
so I think of like short, squatty, broadleaf, dark colored, really dark hues, really slow vegging plants. Yeah. And when I think of sativas, I think of like long, stretchy fucking hazes that flower for fucking 12 weeks and things like that. You know what I mean? And that is really what this was based off of, Had it had that effect, I don't know. For all the guys chasing THC percentage, here's just a word for you: sativas test way higher in THC than indicas.
Boom.
Yeah, that's a fact, bro. So that really heady thing, but like you guys are missing like the GDP. If you missed that wave and you didn't get any of the real purple, and you've never had those real perps like off the mountain, then like you've never had like really sedative, like heavy couch lock type weed,
euphoric couch. Yeah, I remember that classic GDP. Ken Estes is GDP.
Yeah, I mean the real GDP is separate from Ken's even like, but he had another version of it.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, that shit was straight off the hill, fucking outdoor, indoor. That shit was wild.
So what's coming up? What's coming up with Chauncey now? What's coming up with Squints and the whole cannabis scene? What are we doing? Are we in shops? You got drops?
Yeah, we're in a bunch of shops. I'm doing an in-store at Shabinsky's on Fairfax. Not this Saturday, but the next Saturday, which is the 28th, I think. Maybe the 28th. Or the 27th.
26.
26. Okay. Could be the 26th.
Because I think 27th is a sesh.
Okay. You're probably right. And then we have a shop opening in LA. It's our first branded retail store.
Oh yeah? Whoa, where at?
It's in Pico Union. It's on Vermont and Pico, like deep K-Town.
Yep.
It's built, it's staffed. We're starting to transfer products, so we'll be open sooner than later. And I'm excited. We're getting back to retail, back to my roots. My partners come from cultivation background, but it's their first go at retail. But it's cool to get back there and build a rec menu and see the vibes now because the business has changed. And it's cool to get out of the distro and out of the grows and like back to the customer. And I know it takes a while to get product to market these days, but at least I can have that, like, try different things and see how the community likes it,
Direct feedback.
We're neighborhood dudes. Like, we've always been the type to like want to take care of the neighborhood. So, it'd be cool to service, that little niche and see what we can do.
What storefront coming soon? You can carry more brands.
Yeah, just mostly the homies, and then whatever.
If you need some alcohol, let me know too. I could give you some.
I got you. We're gonna need it for the back for sure. Clean everything down, keep it crispy clean.
What? Get you drums.
Yeah, so it'll be a vehicle for us, obviously, but also, for all our friends' brands as well. All the homies, Cali X and LA Family Farms, and
And where can people find your brand? You do the social media. You got websites.
I think foreignla.com is the website for the shop. I might be wrong on that, but at Foreign Genetics, at Squints on Instagram, usually through there you can find our trail of the shit that we're going to be up to. And there's no real schedule to it, but we'll definitely be posting about shit because we are always doing shit.
Keeping everyone informed.
Yeah. That's the best place to find us.
What? Squid's coming out here from, acting in movies and TV shows to growing some of the best weed. Got me super, got his own brand and storefront, making it happen, knowing all the weed. Real stoners do. Real stoner shit. Cannabis Legacy Podcast from the 215 to the traditional. Where are we at now, dude? Compliant days. Exciting, right? Do you love it?
I do, bro. I'm happy. Look, I know it's fucked up. And the thing that's the worst part about it is that the end consumer is the one that really, not only is it tough to run the businesses and the margins are getting slimmer and slimmer, but the end consumer is the one that's really getting the shaft. You know what I mean? And that's the part that like is the worst part about it.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, just the fact of the business being so widespread and like outside interests and more money pouring into it, allowing the science of it and the breeding and the genetics and the stuff that's going on is like, it's a dream, to see all this stuff come together and just where the business is headed. It's pretty cool.
It's crazy to see how it socially accepted it's getting now. And
it's about time, bro.
Yeah, and all the education that's coming with it, dude.
I mean, I think potheads have always been like, because weed, what Cat Williams say, weed has that fuck it in it.
Yeah.
It's just fuck it.
Yeah.
Like I think that we always knew, regardless of the situation, that like just chill, bro, because it's a very chill thing and it makes chill people, So yeah, it's cool to see the rest of the country and the world kind of get on that level and stop fearing it as much, and actually revering it for how great of a
planet
it is,
and how
a magical, mythical cannabis plant.
Now everyone that fucking always talks shit about smoking weed wants to smoke weed with you. Did you have any issues growing up? Like, were your parents cool with your weed consumption? Did they know?
No, I got caught smoking weed when I was in junior high, and I got caught because I was telling, this is when you had like phones that were everybody's phone was connected. So if you were on the line, this is like
someone else could pick up
landlines. Somebody else could pick up the phone and hear the conversation. Anyway, my stepdad picked up the phone. This is like 7th grade, I think. My stepdad picked up the phone, Pete, and he said he heard me talking to someone about bringing a pipe to school or this or that to somebody else. And that fool turned on the answering machine recorder and recorded my whole fucking conversation and showed it to my mom. So yeah, it was pretty rough.
Playing it back for your mom?
Yeah, and school year had just started. And I had just got a bunch of dope new gear for school. And that chick my mom cut like all the pant legs off of my pants and shit and made me go to school in khakis and a polo shirt. Like
yeah, she's like, look.
She didn't know that all gangsters actually wear khakis and polo shirts.
So
it worked out anyway. I think that if you're cool, you can make anything.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
It doesn't matter. But yeah, that was the one time that I got caught smoking weed when I was a little kid by my parents. Yeah, that didn't go well. No, they weren't really into it.
No,
I mean, it's.
Did they ever accept
down
it?
with dope? It's a bad thing,
They're
it's
from
the
that
devil.
propaganda.
Yeah, exactly. It was just not a good. Just not.
Did they ever accept it?
I mean, they don't really have a choice now.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I send them, what are they gonna do?
Yeah, that's what I said. That's why my president.
I like to say that, I was an idiot for getting into the business, and now it's like, hey, can we get a job, or I need you to look at this, or like, can you, that's what pioneers do. You know what I mean? They go against the grain and run in a direction, and everybody tells them they're an idiot, and then everybody wants to invest.
Bro, preaching. That story sounds so familiar, dude. It's been an honor, and I appreciate you taking your time to come here and hang out with us. I know we only got 30, we went a little over, but we could talk for fucking hours.
Yeah, always.
I appreciate
My pleasure,
it.
brother.
Yeah,
thanks
dude.
for having me.
Let me give a quick shout out to all the growers as well, too. I don't give a fuck if it's 1 plant or 1,000 plants, indoor, outdoor, warehouses, whatever, dude. Without you guys, none of us would be here smoking and living this life and having this lifestyle, dude. So thank you guys. And again, Chauncey, Squints, and Respect My Region. You already know Cannabis Legacy Podcast, doing the National Weed World Tour. Is it a National Weed World Tour? No, it's a National Weed Tour. The North American Weed Tour, dude. We're going to hit the world soon, though, dude. I'm coming to Europe. We going to Europe? I'm coming to Europe, G. Watch more. Appreciate y'all. Y'all know it is the highest host, Adam Mill. Until next time, I'll see you guys. Bye. Yeah, dude? All right. Let's go.